All right, y'all, we back with another reaction right here on ABP Reactions, and right now we're trying to figure out where has Mike Will been and why did he suddenly disappear? Let's find out, man.
Back in the mid-2010s, you could not turn on the radio without hearing a Mike Will Made It beat. With a list of platinum hits longer than I have time to name, plus that instantly recognizable producer tag, Mike Will Made It was honestly unstoppable.
Mike Will Made It.
But despite even launching his own record label and building the duo Rae Sremmurd into superstar fame, one major incident 7 years ago though, actually involving Mike Will's hard drive, quickly led to the end of his insane run. And
Really? I didn't know that.
now, with no new album since 2017, what really happened to this legendary producer? Did he just
2017? God dang. Man, time be flying. It does not feel like we haven't heard from Mike Will since 2017. What the hell is going on, people?
get so rich that he retired? Well, it's not the reason that you're probably thinking.
Like I took like a little break off from like dropping music like just so consistently. It was really like a minute, you know what I'm saying? Like probably like, my last album was like 7 years ago. I just haven't wrapped my mind all the way around that. It's been 7 years since I dropped my last project.
Now over 7 years since his last solo album, Mike Will Made It's recent output has been extremely slim, thanks to two main reasons that we're about to learn. But yet, especially compared to his hot streak just a decade ago, such as crafting hits with stars such as Kendrick Lamar, Lil Wayne, and Miley Cyrus to name a few.
It's 300 songs later, 300 published songs later. You know what I'm saying? That's not even counting all the mixtape records. Shit, we probably over 400 songs later. You know what I'm saying? When you see that, now it's like, okay, man, the earth is our turf.
It is hard to overstate Mike Will's impact on hip-hop. However, why has it been so long then since his name's been on the charts? Prior to building a catalog worth an estimated $40 million, Michael Williams, aka Mike Will, instead grew up with hoop dreams. A multi-sport athlete all throughout high school, in addition to an early passion for hip-hop beginning in the lunchroom making beats with pencils, it wasn't long until, quote, Mike's hoop dreams turned into music dreams. And with the motivation to never work a regular 9-to-5 day job, I made those dreams come true.
I came up out of my mom's basement.
Yeah.
I ain't have like a set studio I was going to, or like, 9-to-5s never really worked out with me. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, all this is just the grind.
Starting to make beats on this Korg ES1 machine that his father got him as a Christmas present from a local music store, by the time he was 16, Mike was spending most of his days in recording studios around Atlanta doing anything he could to get his beats heard. But
Nice. That's why I like to hear the grind. The grind that they put in, man. This shit is very important. Hearing what they did, what was the steps they took, shit like that. I love hearing that shit.
day in and day out, he was totally ignored. That was until one specific night though, when Atlanta icon Gucci Mane was recording at a studio which happened to be where Mike's friend worked at, and after telling his homeboy he had to go run to the bathroom, Mike then sneaked into Gucci's room at Patchwork Studios and offered him his beat tape.
The first big artist to rap on my beat was Gucci. I was the first person to put that stamp. First person to say Mike Will made it, you know what I'm saying? That's who really came with it. It was just Mike Will at first. And one of his verses, he was just like, Mike Will made it, Gucci Man slayed it, star status nigga, everybody upgraded, you know what I'm saying? And then ever since then, everybody was like, yo, Mike Will made it.
Oh, that's the day that I called him Mike Will made it, because
Gucci might be Atlanta's #1 A&R ever, man. Gucci Man is responsible for so much talent, finding so much talent in Atlanta, bro. That nigga Gucci Man is for sure Atlanta's #1 A&R.
he stayed down. He'd be outside the studio. He couldn't even, I wouldn't even let him in. Just be outside to anybody who recorded at the studio about studio time, passing out his BCD. He was a hustler.
Quickly forming a close friendship and matching each other's work ethic, knocking out 20 joints together in 3 days, there was still just one major problem that stood in Mike's way. After graduating from high school, Mike Will had enrolled at Georgia State University, basically because of pressure put on him from his parents, something I think a lot of us can probably relate to. But despite his solid 3.1 GPA in class, it wasn't long before Mike was able to convince his father to let him drop out and go all in on music. The semester I dropped out of college was the same semester Tupac Back
Wow, Tupac back.
came out. Mike recalls, I had a song on the Billboard charts, so Pops was like, okay, I see what you're doing. However, besides producing this early track with Meek Mill in 2011, featuring Rick Ross on it too, Mike's
Tupac back. Tupac back. That song used to go crazy.
contact list of connections just kept expanding, linking up with other big Atlanta rappers, such as some of Future's earliest hits, as well as 2 Chainz, back when he still went by the name Titty Boy.
Me and 2 Chainz been rocking since '08, you know what I'm saying? So like we had so many different songs that we did since '08, so many different mixtape records and so many different street records. And then 2 Chainz hit me at 6 in the morning and was like, yo, nigga, we got one, nigga. I'm talking about, nigga, this shit is crazy.
Combined with crafting one of 2 Chainz' most popular songs to date, as well as Bands Make Her Dance by Juicy J featuring him in 2012, another club anthem you'll still hear today. We also
Woo, Bands Make Her Dance, that shit went crazy. And that's when Juicy J was having a crazy run, nigga. Damn. Juicy J was going crazy.
also can't forget co-producing Kanye West's good music single Mercy, one of the biggest rap songs that year, and Pour It Up with Rihanna, thanks to a little
Pour it up.
help from his friend Chris Brown.
Shout out to Chris Brown. Chris Brown had came through the writing camp just checking out the different songs. He had heard Pour It Up and was like, man, yo, I got it. Yo, this one gotta get the read.
Continuing on to get named Producer of the Year in 2013, cooking up a fresh Billboard hit on Fruity Loops, it felt like every week. 2013 was a massive year for Mike Will Made It due to 3 key reasons. First, and most importantly, when it came to dropping bangers, Mike did not slow down an inch. Bugatti with Ace Hood, We Still In This Bitch, and Love Me with Lil Wayne, Drake, and Future were all aux cord guarantees.
Sheesh. 2013 is the year I met Mike Will. I met Mike Will's funny. We was in New York on an elevator. Randomly. We was at the Continental Hotel. Me, him, Problem, we all got on the elevator, and he gave us a CD. He was like, Mike Will Made It. And we always, when I see him and shit, we always talk about that story and shit. Like, that nigga fucking went. We had no idea who he was at the time. And he was just telling, he was out there on some business shit with a label. We was out there on some business shit. And yeah, that's the first time I met Mike Will Made It on the elevator. And he gave us his fucking CD. And that nigga was one of the going crazy right after that.
However, it was Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, who truly skyrocketed Mike Will Made It's career to a whole nother level. Miley was the first artist to make me an executive producer on her album, and that was a major pop album. It was amazing. Calling Miley's 2013 album Bangers a major pop album, though, is honestly putting it very lightly. 1 billion views. 1.2 billion views. As Miley and Mike Will Made It teamed up to release absolute hits that year like We Can't Stop and Wrecking Ball, having successfully crossed into an entire new audience. At this point, Mike Will was on top of the world.
What has this past year been like for Mike Will?
Man, it's been like, I've been blessed, man. All the hard work that I've been putting in, you know what I'm saying, over all these years, man, coming up, like when I started producing and like to see it all unfold right now and like, you know what I'm saying, to see me be able to like go on the red carpet of the VMAs and then, you know what I'm saying, to see me executive producing like one of the most watched females right now in the world.
Before his incredible year of 2013 was finished, though, Mike made arguably his biggest move to date. Rather than blowing $70 million in 1 year on sports cars and drugs, like another producer Scott Storch did, who I just covered, after starting his own production company called Eardrummers Entertainment way back in 2006, in 2013, Mike Will Made It officially launched his own record label as an imprint of Interscope.
Smart.
And the very first artist to join Mike's new Eardrummers crew was the Mississippi hip-hop duo of brothers Rae Sremmurd.
No flex, zone. No flex, zone. No flex, zone. Nigga, that shit used to go crazy.
Which, if you didn't know, their name is actually Eardrummers spelled backwards, as they decided to change it after they signed to Mike and his team.
Because it's like Rae Sremmurd is really Eardrummers backwards. You know what I'm saying? So like Eardrummers... Rae Sremmurd is Eardrummers backwards.
I never knew that.
Yeah, so like Eardrummers is...
Making his first significant moves on the business side, something that, we'll see in a sec, Mike has only doubled down on recently. However, that's definitely not to say that Mike wasn't still involved each day in the studio, assisting his new signees Rae Sremmurd with production all throughout their classic debut album, Shrem Life 1 in 2015, producing the beats for viral bangers No Type, No Flex Zone, Throw Some Mo, and Come Get Her, to list a few, as well as the chart-topping #1 hit Black Beatles a year later, which, if you
Black Beatles, the Mannequin Challenge,
can remember, led to the Mannequin Challenge taking over social media.
I keep referencing Black Beatles, and that's
crazy.
How it was. It was like, I hear a lot of people say like, man, you don't know it hit record, you just gotta put it out there. Like, you know it hit record.
By 2016, Mike Will Made It had built Rae Sremmurd from nothing into one of hip-hop's hottest mainstream names.
That's
all the while,
a fact.
Still finding time to work with his other industry friends, including one of my favorite beats
young nigga move that dope
that he's ever made, With Them by Young Thug.
Jeez.
Thug. I mean, he kind of remind me of like Gucci and Future, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just goes straight in, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like, He got his own style, like he got his own sauce, and it's just like, man, pull the beat up.
Somehow even squeezing in time too to put out his own projects, like his 5th mixtape titled Ransom, or his collab project with Yo Gotti, which brought us Rake It Up with Nicki Minaj. However, just prior to everything crashing down and the unthinkable happening to Mike's sacred hard drive, first came his Grammy Award-winning work with Kendrick Lamar. In 2017, Kendrick Lamar finally kicked off the rollout for his long-awaited 4th album titled Damn, and along with his 7-time platinum lead single, Humble, which became Kendrick's highest charting solo song and won them both a Grammy, Mike Will made it went on to win 3 total production credits on Kendrick Lamar's album.
And then I had made the first half of DNA. That was one of the beats I sent to him. He ended up getting on it. Next thing you know, he tells me...
Shout out to Mike Will made it, man. But I will say this, man. You have to acknowledge, this is the one thing I haven't seen this whole video. You have to acknowledge all the producers that were a part of Eardrummers that made a lot of these beats that Mike Will got the credit for. Now, no disrespect, you know what I mean? He did on some projects, on some of their records, let them put their tags on it, but for the most part, they always said Eardrummers representing the producers, and then Mike Will representing him. Regardless if he made the beat or not. If they made the beat, you wouldn't know the difference. There was some who got to slip their tags in here and there, but for the most part, all the records would say Eardrummers and Mike Will when they were made by other producers as well. I would know. I had my production team at the time. At the highest, I had 9 producers at one time. And I remember everybody, when they came to the West Coast, they looked at me like how they looked at Mike Will, like for advice on working with multiple producers at one time and all this type shit, and having hit records out. And how do you go about it with the tags and shit? Because tags, I remember, nigga, artists did not like tags, bro. Artists would literally be like, take those off, please. Can we take them off? Or they would try to like make them low as possible. All that shit. Y'all remember that? The tag? Oh, everybody had tags? Yeah, man. I mean, still a lot of producers got tags now, but it was like 2013, 14, 15, 16, everybody had tags. And then you would get some songs with 6 tags on it, 5 tags, 4 tags. It was getting crazy. It was definitely getting crazy.
Come to the studio, and he's like, bro, I love this beat. Man, listen to this. And then he played it. It just cut off, and he just kept rapping. He had a whole other part where he was just rapping a cappella. And he was like, man, all I want you to do is just put 808s behind.
You know what's crazy about me and Mike, man? We've been in the studio for a long time. Like
longer than we would know?
Longer than you guys would know. But we never made records. Timing. That's our thing. Timing is everything.
As finally the right time to cook up together, combined with their work on Damn, Kendrick would also appear as a feature on Mike Will Made It's debut album that same year, Ransom 2. At a total of 17 tracks, full of star-studded names. Unfortunately, as it turns out.
Yes, sir. Y'all see it. This one I was managing Problem, man. Rest in peace to my boy Trouble, man. Yep. Shout out Mike Will, man.
Out though, as of this video, Ransom 2 remains Mike Will's last solo album to date. Again, this was back in 2017. He was tasked with producing the Creed 2 movie soundtrack a year later in 2018, enlisting the help of more stars. But it was right here after this project though, when Mike Will made it went silent. It would literally be over 5 years until his next musical body of work, thus raising the big question for fans.
What
did
happened?
Mike Will just get so successful that he retired? Or
what
did
happened?
something deeper go down behind the scenes? Well, nobody could have predicted what happened next. By the year of 2018, Mike Will Made It could honestly work with about any artist in the world that he wanted to. However, despite his years of hard work and stashing unreleased songs in the vault until the right time to release them, it was at this same moment when Mike Will's worst fear came true. Around that time right there, I had lost my hard drives. He shared of what initially caused him to step away from music. My hard drives had gotten stolen. I really eased back from music then. I started buying real estate. I bought my studio that I work at right now in Atlanta, but when I first got there would only be a couple TVs and we'd just be gambling on 2K. I wasn't even really tripping on the music. Still cashing massive royalty checks in his sleep. At this point though, music had suddenly become an afterthought.
Why weren't you tripping? Was it because like I made a bunch of hits?
Like to lose your hard drives and your backup in one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was just like, man, that was like a wake-up call. So I was trying to figure out what that meant for me, like, cause it's like I won a Grammy. I done put multiple people on, so it's like maybe I need to start doing
other stuff. Like I need to start investing in.
Although it remains unclear exactly how or who stole Mike Will's sacred hard drive, as well as his backup one, this was obviously a devastating blow. As would be the case to anyone losing your hard drive, it isn't just losing files, it is like losing years of your life. Unreleased.
That's fucked up. That hard drive, man. Beyonce lost. Y'all remember recently somebody, when she was out there for the concert, somebody broke in one of like her assistant's cars or somebody, whoever had the hard drive in their car and stole her hard drive. Like, damn, stealing hard drive is a motherfucker, because that's like, nigga, that's your membrane. Like, nigga, you have all my work on here. Everything, the unreleased, the ideas, everything. Like, damn, you just took all that from me.
Music, sessions, and ideas just gone overnight. And so, unsure of what to do next, as the savvy businessman he is, Mike's next move was to try and venture into real estate, beginning by purchasing a warehouse in Atlanta and opening up what he calls Atlanta's hottest creative space, a $10 million studio hub for local artists.
I remember this. I remember he put out a commercial for this. I remember this. What happened to that?
He was only getting started. Mike would then purchase a more than 10,000 square foot property right next door, plus another 5 acres of land on the block. And so far, according to Forbes, Mike Will has spent roughly $20 million in real estate investments. I'm watching the neighborhood around me develop and turn into something different, he said. It's a different hunger. Create a platform and give back, but continue to build on the legacy.
Now I feel like what's next is expansion, is starting new businesses, teaming up with corporations.
Opting to go full business mode after the unexpected loss of his old hard drives. While I'm sure that he was able to run up another big bag, deep down inside though, Mike knew that this was not what he wanted to do. He knew where his passion truly lied. Thus, after basically taking his 3-year break off of music and disappearing on fans, as 2020 rolled around and more time opened up during the pandemic, Mike Will decided to try and make his first attempt back at returning to what he knows best.
Nothing was really like working out. Man, what works for me is music. And so I was like, man, I need to go back to investing in myself, you know what I'm saying, as a creative.
In 2020, Mike Will made it was able to land placements with these 3 pretty popular songs in particular, Pardon Me, Go Stupid, and Dollars on My Head with Young Thug and Gunna. But yet, in addition to another 2020 release with NBA YoungBoy and Nicki Minaj, which was originally said to be the lead single for Mike's next album, a self-titled project called Michael. Obviously, not only did this album fail to meet its release date though, but it's still not out today.
Damn. You had a single, that's crazy. A single with NBA YoungBoy and Nicki Minaj, and that wasn't enough to get your project to come out. Nicki Minaj and NBA YoungBoy on your single? Shit.
It is unlike his collab project with Chief Keef. Despite first announcing an album back in 2020 with this tweet right here, stating that they were 74% done, and releasing a fresh single together, it wasn't until almost 4 years later when we finally heard the release of Dirty Nachos, the joint mixtape between Mike Will Made It and Chief Keef. Now, for fans of Mike Will, this was great to finally hear him back releasing new projects. And although it still remains 7 years since his last solo album, it also appears we may not have to wait much longer. I tapped out for a second when all my hard drives got stolen in 2018, Mike shared with us a year ago. But then I realized that I am the hard drives. #reset. Thanks for your patience. Album on the way.
Man, it's crazy because this new album I'm working on right now, it has 9 songs. And that's because of Michael Jackson Thriller.
Right. Something that you can listen to from start to finish.
Start to finish.
Yeah.
Drawing inspiration from the late
You are setting the bar a little too high. You calling your album Thriller, the new Thriller, or is going to be equivalent to Thriller? Yeah, brother. But I think he just said it got 9 songs because of Thriller. But the dude was the one who took it and said something you can listen to all the way through. But damn, I really don't know what happened to Mike Will, man. Shout out to Mike Will, wherever you at, bro. Salute. Hope you get back on your feet, get back cracking, and dominate the game once again, man. Damn.
Michael Jackson and Thriller. According to his 2024 interview with Billboard, Mike Will Made It's next album will be the 3rd installment of his Ransom series. However, rather than titled Ransom 3, this project will apparently be Reset, with a 3 instead of the E. To go along with this announcement also came the release of a new single last year, Higher, featuring Lil Yachty and Lil Wayne. Reset, the album on the way, Mike posted in August of 24. Reset to me doesn't mean starting over, it's setting back up. Number 3 is officially titled Reset.
It's Ransom 3. Each ransom is like, those were like different phases. Ransom stands for like releasing all new songs orchestrated by Mike Will.
continuously hammering home its name as much as he can. However, keep in mind that again, this posted announcement was now over a year ago, and with essentially no talk of it since, the latest post by Mike WiLL on Instagram offers us a better look at what he has really been up to. Clearly enjoying the fruits of all his labor, such as chilling at an Atlanta Falcons game, playing some golf as the avid golfer he is, filming some type of movie or videos, of course still in the studio cooking up, and overall just simply living his life out of the public eye.
So took a little break off of that, and then I was just like learning, man, because I have like a whole company. I have producers, I have a production company, I have a record label, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like I lost my hard drives, and then when I lost my hard drives, that made me feel like, it made me take a step away from music, you know what I'm saying? I started buying like real estate.
And
why don't we hear the eardrummers tag no more? Because that's what I was wanting to ask. Like, he had a lot of producers signed to him. I remember all them niggas. He had a studio. Fun fact, I don't even know, well, if Wack ever said this, but Wack's studio that he bought, Compound, that was the eardrummer studio out here. When they was out here, they had, before it was Wack Studios, the eardrummer studio. Mike WiLL had a studio out here in the Valley where all the producers go in, had like 3 studios in there. But I don't even hear the tag no more. Now I think about it. When was the last time y'all heard eardrummers tag on something? I don't even hear the tag no more. So what happened with all the producers? Did they just stop using the tag, or are the producers gone? That's a good fucking question. I'm gonna have to make some calls tomorrow. I know who to call to ask tomorrow.
remember too how Mike was a big basketball fan ever since he was a little kid? Well, just 2 years ago in 2023, Mike WiLL made it to actually teamed up with ESPN's music strategy team and became the first ever lead producer for the NBA, curating tunes for the league during the 23-24 season. This is the perfect partnership because I make the music that people want to ball to, he said, while at the same time putting out a new eardrummer single, Different Breed, that was then featured in NBA TV spots throughout the season.
What's the first thing you did after getting that call? I mean, partnering with the NBA, I mean, you worked with a lot of greats, but you partnering with the league.
Man, it was dope, bro. It's just dope to be able to like combine music and sports. Everybody either watching the game, listening to somebody's new album, new song. It's dope to make that collaboration.
Say what you want about Mike WiLL, but there is no arguing that he has already made it. About his
For
business
sure.
to the fullest extent since day
You
one.
can't knock Mike
Although,
WiLL.
while this has unfortunately led to a decrease in the amount of music he releases each year, by no means has he stopped working behind the scenes. Since 2023, Mike has made an estimated $40 million just off his catalog and
Nigga.
publishing fees.
Nigga.
So, making absolute racks without
Go
lifting
crazy.
a finger. I'm great, the 36-year-old said. I'm in a position I never imagined.
All right, man. Mike WiLL is far from a fall off. Fuck what you talking about. Until you can reach motherfucking the heights that I've reached, you better not call me a fall off. 1 billion? I got records that got 1 billion views, multiple records that got 1 billion views on YouTube. I got classic hits. You cannot deny the classics. He has so many classics, bro. Mike WiLL, man, he's a legend. He's definitely a producer legend out here for sure in these streets. That's the thing about a producer. A producer can always reinvent themselves. See, the thing is, when I got in the game, I remember having a conversation, shout out to Terrence Martin, and other producers who were telling me, you know, why it would be better to be a producer and manage producers over managing artists. And they're like, a producer can always reinvent themselves. A producer doesn't have to show you what they look like. A producer could be 15 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 60 years old. And you'll never know what they look like unless they choose to come out and show you, unless they choose to be in the limelight. And you, like right now, it could be somebody 60 years old making a banger. And is that going to stop you from fucking with them? Compared to seeing a 60-year-old rapping on YN beats? A 60-year-old can make YN beats right now and don't even have to tell you what his name is and just NBA YoungBoy hop on him and maybe do a whole project with him and y'all gonna eat it up and love it. And then he could be like, oh, this is who made it, my grandpa. And y'all gonna be like, damn, that's tight. But if the shoe roles was reversed, can a 60-year-old artist pop right now rapping on a whole album full of YN beats? No, right? So, you know, a producer can always reinvent themselves and they can stay relevant in a game for a way longer time than a lot of artists can. So, Mike Will, is there still more opportunity for him to make a comeback? Hell yeah. He can always make a comeback. And I don't feel like he's gone because his impact, like what he put on a game is so massive. It's like, shit, you can't deny eardrummers, bro. You cannot deny them niggas. Them niggas, their impact was there to where if anybody could take a break, he's one of those producers. Nigga, shit. $40 million made off of music? Shit, shout out to him, man. Shout out to him, man. All right. I'm going to give y'all 2 seconds to smash the like. And as always, get ready for the next reaction.